Page 57, Jingle Bells. On page 56, they're introducing you to a three-note chord. We use a lot of three-note chords in music. You see them spaced, they're a third apart. Let's take a C, for instance. We've been in C. And if I go a third here, remember 1, 2, 3, an interval of a third. I add another third on top of that, 1, 2, 3. That is a triad, three-note chord. We use them a lot in music. You get them, you see them. In the music, they're easy to spot because all the notes are in spaces or all the notes are in lines, whichever, whatever. Now, there's some things about music people don't agree on. In fact, they don't agree on much of anything about music, and I disagree with what the book says, but that's just me. Other people agree with the book. You do whatever your teacher's telling you to do. They say a chord is 3 or more notes at together, when you can hear them together. I disagree with that. To me, a chord is any time I can hear harmony, it's a chord. I grab that. And that only takes 2 notes to hear a chord. So to me, 2 or more notes together is a chord. Now some people will say they know if it's 2 notes, it's called a dyad. Because a 3-note chord, that's a triad. Di means 2, tri means 3. To me, a dyad is a chord. So just because it's a dyad, not a triad, doesn't mean it's no longer a chord. They need some other excuse to say it's not a chord. To me, it's a chord. And that's what I use in these videos. And they don't have to be at the same time. They could be, a melody can have chords in it. Look in Jingle Bells in the third measure, first 3 notes. A G, an E, a G, and a C. That's that C chord. And when I play it, even though I play them 1 note at a time, I can still in my head hear all of them. That's a chord. Different kind of chord, but it's a chord. And that's really, you're just lowering the whole hand down here. Do it in both hands. Now when in this arrangement, every other note, the bottom note identifies what the chord is. Now, I'm keeping this simple. There's more to it, but let's leave it at this. The bottom note identifies the chord. So this, bottom note's a C, it's a C chord. D chord, E chord, F chord, G chord, A chord, B chord, C chord. Okay, oh, we get into the black keys, things get interesting. Just keep in mind right now, when it's in this arrangement, the bottom note identifies the chord, because it doesn't have to be in this arrangement. It just has to be these note names. I could play a C here, I said E, and a G, and a C here. Same note names, that's still a C chord. But the bottom note doesn't identify it anymore because it's not every other note. That's the thing. Yeah, we'll talk more about these as we go through. Let's talk Jingle Bells. It's 1 page long, treble, bass, clef, 4/4 time signature. Let's see, quarter notes, whole notes, half notes, whatever. I think we can handle that. A few quarter rests thrown in there. The hands are playing at the same time, so I'm going to take it 1 hand at a time first. With the right hand, you're starting with 3rd finger on E here. Put your hand here. You don't need any other finger numbers until line 3. Please don't be reading these finger numbers. We need to read the notes. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1. Get the idea. At the end of the second line, there's a rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. They say lift, isn't that sweet? Lift. It's a rest. However, you have to move, because in a 3rd line, or measure 9, you have the notes here, but it has an 8 VA above the staff. That means you got to come up here, go up an octave. So you're up here. So at the end of the second line, during that rest, you not just lift, you lift and move. Just lift and move. The beat is a steady beat. So at the end of the second line, 1, 2, 3, rest. And I'm ready to go right on. I'm ready for that. And then the last 2 lines are all played up here. So you don't need any of those finger numbers after. You need the first one on measure 9, because you moved your hand. And that's it. You don't need these others on at the end. Left hand, well, you have the C and the G. This is like the chord, we just left out the middle note. You don't have to have all the notes in a chord. I can do this, I can do this. This usually doesn't work because I need the note that defines the chord, really, in most cases. Not all, but most cases I need that C. I can leave out one of the other notes. Here they've left out the middle note. Until the end of the line, then you get them all. 1, 2, 4. And then the second line is just these. And then measure 9, the ABA, that only applies to the staff it's next to. So the left hand does not move. It stays right there. So put the hands together. I'm here. C position. 3, 4. Get the idea? End of the line. Measure 4. That's 1, 4. Get the idea? At the end of the second line, I'm here. 1, 2, 3. Rest. This is where the left hand stays there. On the right hand comes up. Last line. Last two measures. We're here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got 2 quarter rests there in the left hand. That's how each one gets a beat. So the chord comes on beat 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh. And then once I have the notes in the rhythm, then I go make sure there's no hesitations anywhere. A steady beat. Take it as slow as you want to. It doesn't matter at this point, but no hesitations. I think about the articulation. You have a few accents and that's it. Well, you can put in the phrasing if you want. And in this piece, it's every 4 measures. So lift up. So at the end of the front, it's like taking a breath. Now you can, if you'd like, lift up between the first couple of measures. It's Jingle Bells, comma, Jingle Bells, comma, if you want. If you want to lift up there, that's interpretation. I typically don't. I connect it all to the end, then lift up. Accent, let's see. And then in measure 6, you get an accent. In my opinion, you should have an accent at the beginning of every measure in the second line. They all should get accents. In my opinion, it makes more sense to do it that way. It's interpretation. When you're first learning it, just do what they tell you to do. That means accents only on measures 6 and 7. But once I get it learned and I get into the music, I may put accents on the other measures too. And then on the last line, you get an accent in the second measure there. And the last one is both hands are accented. Let the wrist collapse a little bit when you do this. Don't relax. Dynamics, F at the beginning. Forte is loud, that's the melody. It's a happy piece. This, keep it in the background somewhere. See in the measure 4, all the time I'm doing this, I want to hear that. That's melody. Don't drown it out. Second line, come down a little bit, mezzo forte. Just come down a little bit. That makes the accent and notes loud. The third line, back up to loud. And the last line, down in my sort of loud. That last bit at the end, that's going to be loud because it's accented. Speed, brightly, however fast that goes. It's a happy piece. About where I've been going, I think. Somewhere in there, but if you were going to sing it, how fast would you sing it? That's about it. Now they've added a little bit of pedal. I don't know that I agree with it because you don't need pedal on this. It does fine without. But they're doing it. The measures 1 and 2 and measures 9 and 10. Just as near as I can tell, all they're doing is connecting all these repeated notes. So at the beginning, here you can actually get away with pushing the pedal down with the notes. And as I play the note in the third measure, as I play it, I lift the pedal up so it's connected. Same thing in measure 9 and 10. Push the pedal down with the note if you want, or a little after, whichever. Lift it up. Right after I play the note in the third measure there, the quarter note. And that's the pedaling they're doing. I'll show you one more pedal you can add to this if you'd like. And that is that last bit at the end, the last quarter note here. Push the pedal down with the note and back up. The pedal just goes down with it. You get just a speck of overtones because this is a loud chord, an accented chord. We do that sometimes. One of the reasons we use pedal is to help reinforce the loud notes. And there's, you just put with it. Yeah, you can get away with that. Something like that. Please don't copy me. You get into the music, you feel it. Might be a good time to tell you a little bit about natural accents. They'll introduce it eventually. But when you can get a piece like this where you can feel them more easily, it's easier to talk about them. A natural accent is an accent. You already know what that is. But this is one that happens naturally. It's just how you feel it. The strongest natural accent there is the first beat of a measure. Any measure at any time frame, doesn't matter. So in 4/4 time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can feel these here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, when they give you accents there, that's not a natural one. That's a little louder. A natural accent is just a hair louder because you're not forcing it, you're just feeling it. So on these measures where there's no accents, see if you can feel a natural accent on the first beat of the measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, that's part of interpreting music. Let's play this together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready, go. 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, rest.